Welcome to another daily live webcast called Jencast, a live show that happens Monday through Friday here on YFElive.com at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, Jennifer Donogh, and it's another members-only Monday, one of my favorite days because we get to feature one of you, a young female entrepreneur, and today's young female entrepreneur is Nicole Lewis, who is on with us right now. She's going to tell us about her new Kickstarter campaign that just got off the ground. So Nicole, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let's go ahead and get started.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about this Kickstarter campaign. It's called Turn NYC. And then, so what exactly are you kickstarting with it?
I'm trying to raise funds. Well, the store is going to be in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg. The idea is that every month we'll feature new local designers. So designers who are living and working in New York City will have a chance to rent space in the store. And every month will be a new selection of designers. So at the beginning of the month, we'll have a party and people can meet the designers and check out the collections. And so the Kickstarter is a way for us to raise some money for build out and getting the space set up.
So it's kind of like an art gallery almost.
Right, yeah, it'll be a way for people, it'll be kind of showcasing and a way for people to sell their collections as well.
Oh, that's so cool. And is there any other examples of other people doing that around Brooklyn or in the New York area, or is this kind of a new idea of how you sell clothing?
There's two stores I would say that have kind of similar business models. There's one, a store downtown in Soho called Market, and they rent space to designers, but there's not very much turnover. There are a lot of people that are kind of residences there. So it's a really large space. There's about 50 designers. So they have the rental part of the business model. And there's a store in Manhattan. It's not local designers, but they do a monthly turnover. So the store is different every month. So it's kind of a combination of both of those.
So I want to take it back to your background and how you got this idea. You are not a New York City native, right? You moved to New York.
No, yep. I've actually been in New York 6 years now. I moved here from Cape Cod. So big change from small quiet town to the city. But
it's a huge change. So why the move?
I actually did an internship here in undergrad working at Us Weekly and just totally fell in love with the city. Yeah, really fun internship. But just there's so much going on and there's so much to do and the fast pace, I love it here.
Well, and it's funny when I was reading your Kickstarter campaign summary, I was thinking of Gene Kelly in Singing in the Rain when he comes into town and it's like gotta dance and he goes around and he comes to the big city to fulfill his dreams.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so cute. So anyway, you moved to New York City and then you went to grad school, right? In New York City.
That wasn't actually in my initial plan. But I went to LIM College last year, got my MBA. They have a really unique program. It's an MBA in fashion management and entrepreneurship.
Oh, fun.
It's a really specific program, but great for people who want to work in the business and need kind of the business side. I think a lot of people who want to work in fashion have the creative side. So this was a good way for me to build up, the finance and the management and the business side skills that go along with it.
And so what was the decision that got you into the MBA program? Because like you said, it's not your average. You can't exactly go there and then turn around and go work for, just any random company that requires an MBA. Like you said, it's very specific. Why did you choose to do that?
Right. I've always been into fashion. I've always been sewing. I've been sewing forever. I think for undergrad, I didn't feel confident enough to go into like an art school, say like FIT, or I think at the time I went and did my undergrad, I didn't have a portfolio. I didn't feel strong enough to like present a collection at 10 years ago. But starting a fashion line is something I've been interested in. But doing the business side, for me, I've always had like the 40-hour a week, the regular job, and then you have what you're passionate about and what you're doing in your free time. And getting my MBA was a way to kind of marry starting a business that would be a secure kind of constant thing, and then use that to kind of boost the creative stuff.
Well, that makes sense. So now let's talk about the business model of the store and what it is that you're kickstarting. So like you said, you're going to feature one designer in the store a month, and there's other people that are doing it, but it's different renditions of the same concept. And so how is it that you're going to be making money doing this? Is the designer going to be paying rent to you? Are you purchasing wholesale? What does that look like?
So right now, I don't have a space secured right now, but I'm looking at a couple different spaces. Depending on the amount of space we get, it'll actually be probably around 4 designers a month. And the way that I will make money, the store will make money, is designers will pay a rental fee and then also a small percentage of consignment on top of that. So they'll bring in their collections, their inventory at the beginning of the month, and then it will be sold throughout the month. And then they'll pay a percentage on the sales and the rental fee. And at the end of the month, the collections will turn over. New designers will come in.
Well, and I really like this idea as far as, you know, even if a young female entrepreneur that's watching, maybe her passion's in photography or in jewelry or some other form of products where that's being sold to a consumer. I like the idea that you don't have to purchase the inventory outright. So you're saving a lot of money in capital.
Yeah.
Now, as far as, I mean, what you're bringing then to the designers is that space. So the designer doesn't have to put out the $5,000. I don't even want to guess what rent is in New York City. But they don't have to front that money. They just pay a portion of it to you. It's kind of like the co-consumption economy type of a thing, or shared economy. And so you're responsible for all of that stuff. So as far as schooling goes, did they teach you about how to product, what do you call that? Like put products out on display and make sure that certain things catch the eye, that kind of thing?
Yeah, like visual merchandising and things.
Visual merchandising, yeah.
That's something that's super interesting to me. I didn't have a class on that. It's something I've kind of looked at on my own, and may actually be trying to tap into the LAM undergrads. That is something that they do focus on. They have window competitions in the city, doing windows for Macy's and Bloomingdale's and things. But that's definitely something that's interesting to me in terms of trying to get people. I think one of the biggest challenges with designers is getting noticed here. I think it's hard to get noticed on Etsy or other online platforms where there's just so much. And I think everyone wants to be in a store where people can touch and feel and try on and kind of interact with the products and the designs, and hopefully we can help them out with that.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that, the touch and feel. We talked about this on Gencast a while ago with Bobble Bar. Is that how you say it? I'm just totally blanking on it. The jewelry people, you know, that sell online.
Yeah, they pop up here.
Yeah, so they have, they're now in anthropology, and I love, it's, you know, that also brings into it's more than just the shared economy. It's collaborating with other designers. So will you handpick these designers? Will you be someone, I mean, do people have to apply to be in the store? Are the designers going to work, you know, like, are they going to mix and mingle well? So it'll be a specific type of consumer that'll come in one month and be introduced to, you know, other designers, that type of a thing?
I am hoping to kind of have a hand in curating a little bit in terms of creating some sort of theme or an aesthetic every month. Definitely certain collections aren't going to go well with others. Once we have kind of nailed down the startup funds and we're nailing down space, that's something that I plan on looking into. Is my next step would be interacting with all the designers, getting people's input and feedback. We do want the store to be kind of segregated in terms of like designers having their different collections. in different spaces of the store, and I want them to have an opportunity to customize their space a little bit and have input on how it's laid out. But you do want it all to be kind of cohesive and look like one boutique too. So there will be a little curation.
That makes sense. Well, all of that really excites me as far as what you can do with fashion and merchandising and just all of the different ways people are being, especially young people. I feel like we have a little bit of a corner in the market as far as getting creative with how we're doing retail today, because obviously retail, starting a store that sells items is really hard. I mean, it's a very capital intensive, and if you're a young person today, you don't necessarily have the funds to get started right away, which is a nice little segue into the Kickstarter piece. How did you choose, because it's a pretty specific goal, it's $30,000, which to me seems like pennies when you're starting a brick and mortar business. How did you decide to go with the $30,000?
Well, my final project at LIM was to write out a business plan and I wrote it about Turn. In terms of what I have in mind for the layout of the store, I want it to be as much of a blank space as possible. So, and I've looked at a couple spaces in the area that I want to be in Brooklyn, and I'm trying to raise enough funds to kind of be okay for 3 months. Like, of course, I would love to be, set, pay a year lease and be good. But in terms of just getting started and hoping that the feedback follows, I've planned out 3 months. So getting some fixtures in, getting a space that's mostly turnkey will need a little brushing up. But so the amount that we're raising would be enough to survive 3 months with no business and no, to hopefully get us off on the right foot.
And why did you choose Kickstarter to do this? Especially, I mean, I feel like your Kickstarter campaign started right when they were having the issues with the passwords.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Why Kickstarter and not something like Indiegogo or any other platform?
I think Kickstarter does a great job of, on the back end of things, they allow you to, like on my end of things, I have a whole analytics page. There's an opportunity to send updates to everybody. They handle the payments, they handle, everything's kind of intuitive, and it's all on their end in terms of organizing and giving you kind of a dashboard.
So my question is then, with Kickstarter versus Indiegogo, I feel like Kickstarter has a pretty well-established and robust community as far as people discovering new brands, discovering new products. So for the people that are backing your Kickstarter campaign, do you feel like there's a greater percentage of people that are friends and family, or there is, is there some people that you don't know who they are that backed you?
Right now we're about halfway through. It's mostly friends and family, and then kind of like 2 and 3 degrees out with people spreading to their networks and things. Not too many strangers right now, but hopefully running Kickstarter campaigns like full-time job.
Yeah. Well, we've had people on here, Nicole, that, we've had someone that raised a couple $1 million within a week, and they had a staff of 7 working for just the Kickstarter campaign. And like you were telling me before this is your job right now. And then this is my favorite thing about young female entrepreneurs too, is that it's not just our baby, it's not just our business, but it is the business of our boyfriend, of our kids, of our parents. And so you've enlisted the help of your boyfriend, right?
Yes.
I think that's awesome. And so who's handling what? And I mean, did you just basically say, you're gonna help me?
Pretty much, yes. Luckily, he's been very supportive, but he does some marketing and advertising for his job. So he's been helping me we're running some Facebook ads to try and generate traffic to the page and also the Kickstarter page.
Is that effective so far?
We've gotten some click-throughs. We haven't seen it turning into pledges, but we've seen, we're getting likes on the page through it. And so building an audience, it's been effective.
So, Nicole, I want to make sure that we end with this today because it's also on our daily action calendar item. If you go to dailyactioncalendar.com, it's to ask what we can help you with. I really love this idea. I love the passion and everything that you've done leading up to it. What can myself, young female entrepreneurs, and others help you with to make sure you're able to reach your goal in 16 days?
The biggest challenge right now is getting the word out. I truly still, we're about halfway through and at about 20% of our goal. I really believe that if we get the word out enough and people share and encourage people to check out the page, that we can meet the goal with small donations. Not everybody has $25 to give, but there are pledges for $1 and $5, and literally every dollar is huge help. It's a step in the right direction. So if you have 2 minutes, check out the page. If you can't donate, try and spread the word, let people know. It's definitely the thing I'm most excited about is building community with our store. And so hopefully we can get our goal and reach out to designers and help other entrepreneurs in the city.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining us this morning to talk about your Kickstarter and everything that you've been doing leading up to it. For everyone that's watching, I'm sure they've gotten inspired by some kind of creative out-of-the-box idea based off of your out-of-the-box idea. So where can everyone find out more about the Kickstarter campaign and follow you online?
The Facebook page for Turn is facebook.com/TurnNYC. That's also my Twitter is TurnNYC. And if you go straight to the Kickstarter page and you do a search for Turn NYC, you will see it. It'll pop up and you can
I can't believe that you have the name too across all of the platforms. Is this something that you got once you got into fashion school, or?
As soon as I came up with the name, I frantically went across
Haven't we all done that?
The URL and the page on everything, so
that's awesome.
Sure.
All right, Nicole, well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you've just been watching Nicole Lewis. She is the creator of Turn NYC. Make sure that you check out her Kickstarter campaign and help her spread the word. Today is all about helping out your young female entrepreneur peers. So let's go ahead and do that. If you need help with anything, make sure that you comment below this video or wherever we're sharing it, and we can all help each other out. This has been Jennifer Donogh, the host of what's this called? It's a Monday, and featuring Nicole Lewis of Turn NYC. Make sure that you sign up for our mailing list at yfe.me/mail it. Everyone, thank you so much for showing up live and for watching this video later on YouTube or iTunes. Have a great Monday.